Hello again. Okay, so now we're going to take a look at a theorem called angles subtended by the same arc. Subtended is another word for held. So let's see what happens to these angles that are held. You can think about it as 2 points, or they're held by the same arc. Well, as perhaps you can see here, let's look at our autograph. If they're on the same arc, then the angles will be exactly the same. Okay, so I can move this around as much as I want, and you can even be a little bit tricky and move it all the way like this, where you can't even really see that it's still on the same arc, but they will indeed be the same. Be careful, if you cross over, they won't be the same anymore. So if you cross over to the other part, oh, look what happens then. Then they actually add up to 180 degrees, okay? Because they're not on the same, they're not held by the same arc. They're not subtended by the same arc. But if they're on the same arc, then they are the same. So you can go ahead and just write in your summary, like I did not, angles that are held by the same arc will have the same size. All right, let us apply this a little bit. So perhaps you can see already for the first question. Can you see that these are held by the same 2 points and they're on the same arc? So this automatically means that x is going to be 46. Okay, nice and easy. Just picture moving this around. Again, look at this one. This one held by the same 2 points on the same arc. So this is 30, this is 30, this is 30. It makes sense because as you're moving them around, you could actually put them right on top of each other, right? So they have to be the same. Let's try a couple that are perhaps maybe slightly trickier that I know sometimes gets people stuck. And that is, well, how about this one? Okay, sometimes it's just a little bit tricky to identify them, but here you see this is subtended. Do you see that this is 75 and it's on the same arc? And same with this one. So that does mean that x is also going to be 75. What about this y here? Good question. What's happening here? Well, this is 43. Now look at this. I'm going to change color on you. And look what happens now. Let's look at these 2 points holding these 2 angles. Can you see that this is then also 43? From there on, I won't finish it, but you can do 180 minus these 2, 180 minus these 2, and then find these angles, or just one of the angles, and determine y. I'll let you do that. Okay, perhaps I'll do one more. Let's do I here. So we know that this right here is 65. Now you have to be careful. Is there anything else that you know? Well, at the moment you know that this is x, and this is held by these 2 points. Okay, so this is x, so that means that this is also bx. Maybe that will be helpful to us. What else? All right, keep all the circle theorems that we've covered already in your pocket. You can see that this right here is the center. Ha ha ha. Remember a couple of theorems ago that what we have is if we have a diameter, so angle in a semicircle, that automatically means that this is 90 degrees. Can we find x then from there? Of course we can. If this is 90, these 2 will also be 90. And so this other angle is going to be 25. Ta-da! Okay, so once again, no matter how many of them you see, if they're on the same arc, then they will be the same. And just as a side note, because we will study it later, that if you cross over, then the opposite ones in this quadrilateral will make 180.